So, welcome to yet another episode of the Privacy Pros video series. This is an initiative by the Sci Circle. Sci stands for Privacy and Security Innovators Circle. As a part of this initiative, we published an ebook with articles by leading privacy experts. And I have one such leading expert with me today, and that's Bill Schaumann. Bill has over 20 plus years of experience in the field, so it's my pleasure to talk to him today. And to kick off the session, Bill, can I request you to give our viewers like a very quick introduction of yourself?
Sure, thank you. So, as was stated, I've kind of been doing this for quite some time. I come from the technical side. I'm not a lawyer, but I come from the side where we understand data and how data is important in the privacy sphere. AI, I think, is especially important in this conversation because it is the manipulation of data and it is the control of data. So I've been doing operational privacy for 20 years and understanding how do we take these regulations and make them operational inside corporations. So very glad to be here today and talk about this topic.
Thanks so much, Bill. Thank you. So, Bill, you've written an article in the ebook that's titled AI is the Bomb. We all know that AI technologies like, OpenAI's ChatGPT, Google's Bard, Microsoft's AI-powered search, all of these are becoming extremely popular. And while that's the latest emerging tech, what's also happening on the side is there's an intense debate that's raging in the industry about just the ramifications of using this technology. And I think the matter of privacy just adds another layer of complexity on top of that, which is why I feel like your article is so relevant. So can I just hear in your own words, why you picked this particular subject and why it's so important?
Yeah, so as you say, ChatGPT and other AI engines have really kind of taken the whole planet by storm. And, as you start to look at them, I'd say now it's very much in its infancy. So, these engines are learning, but they're kind of like babies and they're just like repeating the things that they've seen or been exposed to, which is basically the internet. So the whole of human writing is available to them through the internet. And it seems like now there's a couple of layers. They can retrieve information and perhaps parse it and conform it to some of the rules that you may put into a query. So, show me something that is in this style. And so it can pick up on those styles and kind of reproduce it. So I think that, at one point we have to say, what's the next step? What's beyond that? Can it do tasks for us? Yes. If you specify a task, it can do a task. What my concern is and my interest is will it learn the rules that we've set out as society to live and work by? There's plenty of frameworks, there's plenty of regulations, and I just wonder if an AI engine reads a regulation, will it then start to take actions based on that regulation, or is that something that has to be programmed in? And if it is programmed in, then you start to say, well, is there good sides and bad sides? If you look at politics and say, well, do the Republicans have an AI engine that, is targeting Democrats? And do the Democrats have an AI engine that is targeting? So what are the rules that these things are going to live by and work by? And I think that's an important question as corporations start to, use AI and turn it and tune it in their processing.
I think that's true for any platform that uses these kind of algorithms these days. Even with things like Twitter, there's a debate around how tweets get flagged, and one side feels that we are getting flagged a little more than the other. And so I think this is going to become more and more common. So I think what you just said, it certainly makes sense that what is good or bad and how do we tackle that, how do we decide what's good and what's bad, right? So
Right.
yeah, I think that's certainly relevant.
And who's the we there? Who gets to make those decisions? Who decides that, right?
Yeah, I think that's certainly important. So far, when you talk to other experts in the industry or your colleagues, right, what is your experience like? Or do you think that privacy experts are equipped to tackle the implications of AI? Where are we at this point in time?
Yeah, I think right now, as AI is in its infancy, most privacy pros are really just starting to consider the possibilities and what could be happening within their organizations, based on this. So there's a lot of companies that are now trying to monetize data that they're collecting. There's a lot of new data governance officers whose role is, like, how do we make money from this data that we've just collected? And I think, by harnessing AI engines to sort through data and configure data, those are part of the goals and part of the things that they're going to do to monetize data. And I think that's where they have to start to be careful. And I I wouldn't be surprised at all if there is not, if not already, kind of like a PIA for privacy impact assessment is, an AIA, and so is there an automation, is there an artificial intelligence assessment and saying, what is the possible harm caused by this? Already some privacy regulations talk about automated procedures, automated decision making, which goes right down the line with automated processing, right? So if we say, hey, we're going to scale a price table based on certain characteristics, then, are these AI engines tuned properly to understand the rules and how they can be used or not? But I think, for the most part, right now, privacy pros are trying to figure out what is coming, which even I think the technologists are not there yet. I just saw over the weekend a new application. It's an AI driven to do list that not only maintains the list, but it can actually go get things done. So, I'm planning a party. I need to reserve a banquet room. Oh, the AI engine can actually go do that. Go find this website and reserve this date, right? So, I think more and more capabilities are on the way, and people are still trying to figure out what it's going to be. In a microcosm, then that means for privacy folks that within their own organization, I think they need to be aware of research and development and be aware of the new pieces that are coming and how they will be using personal information. And could the AI engine be tuned or be trained to a set of rules that represents privacy rules and how the personal information should be handled, so that during that processing there's appropriate filters and storage along there.
So other than this, I think would you have any other specific advice for your colleagues or organizations in industry with regards to this topic, right? Like how do you, if I had to kind of ask you, what are the first 2 or 3 things, or what are the top 3 things that privacy pros can start doing, when they even want to start looking at AI and the use of that technology with regards to their organization?
Well, I think, if they know that AI development is taking place within their organization, first and foremost, they have to understand their own environment. They have to understand their own data. What data do we have? What data are we processing? What are the changes in the data every day? And, as we know, there's techniques to do that these days to be able to understand your data. Once you have that understanding and what your normal baseline is, then I think you can be more alert and aware of new processing that may be taking place within the organization, because the data is going to move and it's going to be used for new things. And so I think being aware of that and maybe tuning privacy impact assessments to have some additional questions around automated processing and how AI may be used, because I think even, AI can be used in, repetitive tasks that were performed, HR tasks that, always, onboarding tasks that always the same type of thing. And, AI is going to surface in a lot of different types of surface applications. So, if new processing is taking place, I think adding some questions around automated processing would, be a real good safety blanket for everybody to be looking at.
So just to summarize, first and foremost, understand your environment and see how you're using AI and in one context. And every time something changes, being aware of how those changes could impact things, and having a more robust, kind of a AI impact assessment plan, so to speak, in place. These are at least the, absolute basics that everybody needs to be doing, right?
Yeah, I think those are things we can look at now, and as the future develops and more capabilities develop, we'll see where it goes. And I think those steps that we have to take will change along with the development of the technology.
Makes sense. That was all, Bill. Thank you. Thanks so much. This was just a quick snippet and a summary of what your article speaks about. So thank you for giving us this time and doing the interview with us. And of course, thank you for writing the article itself. In my opinion, your article also happens to be one of the most philosophical chapters in the book. And that's why I think it's one of my favorites. It's certainly one of my favorites. So for the audience in general, I would highly recommend that please go ahead and read Bill's article in our latest ebook, along with a ton of other articles by experts as well. And I would also encourage all of the viewers to follow the Privacy and Security Innovators Circle, our page on LinkedIn, and of course, course, if you are curious about what LightBeam does, then please check out our website, lightbeam.ai, and stay tuned for more such videos and content. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Niramayee. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.